Welcome to Science for You channel. Today we are going to discuss about the properties of solids. Before going to watch this video, please like, share and subscribe this video. Thank you. Classify the solids on the basis of electrical properties. Okay, it can be classified into three types. They are conductors, insulators and semiconductors. Okay, so based on the electrical properties, we can classify the solids into three types. One is conductors, second one is insulators, third one is semiconductors. Okay, so first we are going to see the conductors. If a solid is a conductor, it has electrical conductivity up to this range 10 power 4 to 10 power 7 per ohm per meter. Okay, so in this value, electrical conductivity, if a solid has electrical conductivity in between this value, it conduct electricity through itself. Okay, so next one is insulators. We know that insulators doesn't conduct any electricity. It has very low electrical conductive value, that is 10 power minus 20 to 10 power minus 10 per ohm per meter value. Okay, so it doesn't have any electrical conductivity. Almost zero value, below zero value. For example, for these insulators or wood, backlight, most of the plastics or act as an insulators. Okay, so next one is semiconductors. Semiconductors, we know that semiconductors is in between the conductors and insulators. It has some electrical conductivity between this range 10 power minus 6 to 10 power 4 per ohm per meter. Okay, so they are known as semiconductors. So when we if we induce some electrical the conductivity for a solid, it can act as a semiconductor. So that is known as semiconductors. There are two types of semiconductors. One is N-type semiconductors and second one is P-type semiconductors. N-type means negative type semiconductors. It has mostly electrons in it. Okay. So next one is P-type semiconductors. That is known as positive holes are present here. Okay. So first we are going to discuss the N-type semiconductors. Here the group 14 elements doped with group 15 elements are known as N-type semiconductors. Here free electrons increase the conductivity. Okay, so mobility of the free electrons conduct the electric current through itself. Okay, that is known as N-type semiconductors. So next one is P-type semiconductors. Here the holes, that is positive holes, are conduct electrical conductivity. Here the group 14 elements doped with group 13 elements, that is known as P-type semiconductors. Okay, some example for semiconductors: germanium, silicon. So these are the examples for semiconductors. We know that most of the metals, solid metals, are conduct electricity. They are act as conductors. So this is the three types of solids based on the electrical properties: conductors, insulators and semiconductors. Semiconductors are further classified into two types based on the presence of free electrons or holes. It can be N-type semiconductor or P-type semiconductors. A density of a unit cell can be calculated by this formula, that is mass of the unit cell divided by volume of the unit cell. So that is known as density of the unit cell of a cubic crystal, that is Zm divided by V into Na. So Z means atomic number, M means mass of the unit cell, V is the volume of the unit cell, Na is the Avogadro number. This will be used to calculate the density of a unit cell. Okay, so here we can replace the V by A cube, that's why using this formula also can be used to calculate the density of a unit cell. So next one is Bragg equation. We know that Bragg equation is 2d sin theta n lambda. So next is calculation of number of octahedral voids. Number of octahedral voids can be calculated by this formula, that is number of particles present in a closed packing, that is equal to number of octahedral voids. Okay, so number of octahedral voids is equal to number of particles present in the closed packing. Okay, so next, number of tetrahedral voids is equal to 2 into number of octahedral voids. Okay, so number of tetrahedral is equal to 2 into number of octahedral voids. Okay, so these two relations used to calculate the number of octahedral voids and the number of tetrahedral voids. Every void has different radius ratio values. We know that void means when close packing arrangement of solids, different layers of spheres will be occupied. In different layers, spheres are occupied. Each layers, in between the layers, there is a hole or voids in it. Okay, so that is known as voids. It may be triangular, tetrahedral, octahedral, or body center cubic shape. It may have triangular, tetrahedral, octahedral, or body center cubic shapes. Okay, so every voids has different radius ratio. If triangular voids, it has 0.155 to 0.225 radius ratio value. In between these values, triangular voids having these values. Okay, so next one is tetrahedral voids. Tetrahedral voids, it has the radius ratio in between 0.2245 to 0.414. Okay, so next one is octahedral voids. Octahedral voids has the radius ratio in between 0.414 to 0.732. So next one is body center cubic voids. This BCC voids has radius ratio in between 0.73 to 1 value. Okay. So if we know the radius ratio limiting values for a coordination complex, we can predict the coordination number and geometry of that complexes. Okay. So for example, if the coordination number is below 0.414, the coordination number is 4. The geometry of this coordination number is tetrahedral. Example for this geometry is zinc sulfide. Okay. So next, the radius ratio limiting value is in between 0.414 to 0.732. There are two coordination numbers raised. One is 4 and another one is 6. If the coordination number is 4, the geometry of the complex is square planar. There is no example for this state. If the coordination number is 6, the geometry of the complexes is octahedral. Example for this geometry is sodium chloride and titanium dioxide, that is rutile. So next, the radius ratio limiting values is in between 0.732 to 1. The coordination number occur in this limiting value is 8. The geometry of this coordination number is cubic. Example for this geometry is cesium chloride, calcium fluoride, that is fluorite. Next, if the radius ratio limiting value is greater than 1, the coordination number is 12. The geometry of this coordination number is cubo-octahedron. There is no example for this ionic examples for this geometry, but many metals have the 12 coordinate system. Okay, so if we know the radius ratio limiting values, we can easily predict coordination number and geometry of that particular compound. Below 0.414 means coordination number arrays is 4, geometry is tetrahedral, is in between 0.414 to 0.732. There are two coordination number arrays 4 and 6, that is geometry square planar and octahedral. If the coordination limiting value is in between 0.732 to 1, that means it has 8 coordination number. Geometry is cubic. If the radius ratio value is above 1, the coordination number is 12. Geometry is cubo-octahedron. So we know different types of unit cells. So each unit cell has different edge length value. So it can be tabulated in this table. So types of unit cell. So that is FCZ has edge length is 2 into root of 2r. BCC has 4 by root 3 into r. So that is the edge length value for BCC, body center cubic. And simple cubic center, it has edge length of 2r. Friends, this video is useful for UG PG chemistry students, TRB Polytechnic, PG TRB studied person. Don't forget to watch and share and subscribe this channel. Thank you, friends.